Hey guys, welcome back to part 10 of Bendy Lone Wolf. This is our final part. We will be finishing up everything and collecting every trophy that's left in this video. Let's start out by jumping into day number 44 by going to the music department. So we're going to get to try out our new weapon, the scythe, and from what I can see, it's pretty good at blocking, but it basically does the same damage as the mallet. So I guess it's not a big deal if you don't want to go through the trouble of getting it when you go to hard mode. I got very lucky, and the very first locker that I opened had the final record, giving us the golden record trophy for collecting all of the safe house tunes. So we're going to jump straight into the ending segment where we pick up our final item and make a mad dash for the lift. Hoping that the ink demon is behind me. I don't remember. I'm seeing this almost for the first time right along with you guys. Oh no, he caught me right at the end. And unfortunately, the traps don't do anything to hurt him, so we'll have to go run and hide. But yeah, so that's awesome. We have our final weapon. We have our final safe house tune. There, I was just trying to bait him to come back, so maybe he would go in a different direction. And I forgot that you have to wait. You have to wait for the thing to reset. But I did do a cut there. I waited for him to go away, and then I just cut it back into where I could make a run for the lift. So you guys didn't have to sit there and watch me fumble around. Because apparently it was way far away from the lift where I left my final item, and you can see here why I always highly suggest... Oh no, I ran out of stamina. That was so close. I got really lucky. This is why I suggest always leaving your final item as close as possible to the lift. That right there is a perfect example as to why you should always do that. So back at the safe house, we can come over here and listen to our tunes. So now that we've heard them all, you can tell me your favorite down in the comments. I think all the Bendy music is very fitting for the time period that it's set in. I'll say that. Not really my cup of tea, but it fits in perfectly with the aesthetic that they made for the game, and I really appreciate that. So now that all of that is done, we can go and check out the final boss. So make your way over to the Gent Lab. You can make a save if your save's scumming. Don't forget that after you've collected everything... Oh look, here's our final box. I missed it earlier. Don't forget the box in the bathroom. Yeah, so if your save's scumming, don't forget to save, exit out of the game, upload your save to the cloud, just as a precaution. And I only recommend that on hard, because if you die, it's permadeath. So you have to start all over from the beginning. But on normal, your saves actually count. So you'll see you have 7 out of 7 parts on this machine. Once you open all of the question boxes, you will then be locked in this room. And I'm pretty sure that the goal of this is to provide ink to the machine. So as you take these enemies out, they splatter all over. and the machine slowly fills with ink. And once one chunk of it is full, you'll have new enemies that come up. One hit will take them all out. And there is a healing box on the wall if you need it. Over to the right, there's a place where you can heal. When you get to the final box, it's going to be these animatronic versions that fall down. But even these go down in one hit, and it doesn't matter which weapon you use. For some reason, they all go down in one hit here. And here's the cutscene. Once you get control back of Boris, just walk straight ahead and enter this swirling vortex, and you'll get a notice that Boris has escaped, which is fantastic. I feel so happy for him. You'll earn the Survivor trophy for completing the main story, which is very good. And here I do have the credits rolling. The credits are very, very short, so I'll give you a quick synopsis of what I think of this game. My negatives, I will say the RNG is very, very frustrating. There's nothing worse than going through the same level 3 or 4 times and not finding any collectibles. It's very frustrating. Also, the game itself is very repetitive. I don't care for that very much. On the good side, you know, the music, it's typical Bendy music. It fits right in. The cameos were good of returning characters from previous Bendy games. The decent story, I liked that there was a good ending for Boris, for sure. And it was a $2 game. It's a short spurt of fun for a very low price. And then, of course, they end by telling you Bendy will return. I don't think Boris is going to return. I think he actually got out, and that would be awesome if he did. So once you complete the level, you will get this synopsis here of everything you've done. Deaths, enemies, days you survived, supplies, slugs, hiding spots used, soup machines used. You get to see all of that. And I do like that. I like having a full synopsis of everything that we did. So that's nice. So if you want to play again, you can always try to get less deaths or collect more slugs or whatever, you know, set goals for yourself. It's highly replayable. So we're going back into the main screen. It automatically sends you there after your synopsis. And this time we're going to go in and play on hard mode. Now, I'm not going to be showing you everything. I'm going to go through the main portion of the game by myself on hard. I'm going to do my own save scumming. I'm not going to make you guys sit through all that. Pretty much what's going to happen is I'll show you the very beginning, and when I make the cut and we come back, it's going to be after everything is completed. Well, maybe not everything. I'm going to have all of the collectibles that I need to do everything, but I won't have done them yet. However, I'm going to speed through everything for you guys. So I'll show you in fast forwarding motion what I'm doing. So you can see this is a new game. I did choose on hard. You get the whole tutorial thing to begin with. And right here, we're going to cut it. And now that we've returned, I have already done everything. You can see I have the 6 fuses there. And I have the tapes and the key here. I'm going to start here because this one is probably my least favorite, dealing with Alice.
Boris.
So I'm not sure. I already showed you all the cutscenes. We're going to go into the lower levels, and I'm going to fast forward through the whole thing, but you'll get to watch it. So basically, if you remember, when you have this Alice boss fight, all you have to do is find all 6 items. There's no need to run from the final item to the lift. You just automatically get transported after you find it, so you don't have to leave anything behind. You can also see, if you're paying attention during this fast forwarding moment, that those turrets are active here. So just keep that in mind. Once you get to the Gent workshop and you encounter the turrets for the first time, they start appearing in all of the other levels just randomly. So do keep that in mind. Man, it's kind of amazing to watch it go this fast. If you think about how slow it typically goes. But I seem to be doing a pretty good job, which you would think I would be after going through the game this many times. You'd think I'd have a pretty good rhythm going. Okay, we're almost done. One item left to find. And here it is. You grab that and then you are done. And you will collect your question box once this is complete. I don't know why it automatically spawns you over to the hearts. I find that so strange. So just to keep in mind, if you have done it this way, if you saved all of this for last, then you're going to want to save scum as well. So cutting there, because of course I am save scumming. Let's go next into the projectionist area. And again, I'm going to fast forward through the entire thing. So when you're playing on hard, just a few tips while we're going through this. A few tips I have for hard. Practice your blocking. You're going to need to block a lot. It's very important to learn to block effectively, because it's not that the enemies hit harder. You know, if they hit you once, you still get 1 crossbone of damage. It's just that they tend to swarm you more. So you'll have interactions with just single enemies, but it happens more often that 2 may come after you at once. And in that case, you need to really, really be good at blocking. So practice your block and get good at it. Also, I highly recommend keeping your camera stationary. Choose which path you want to take and face toward it, like with Boris's back to where the lift is. Face the area you want to go and keep the camera at that angle until you are completely finished looking at everything and picking up everything in that area. Then when you get back to the lift, choose a different path, turn your camera angle, and keep it there the whole time. Those are probably the 2 best pieces of advice I can give you for hard mode. You'll be amazed at how much easier it is when you learn how to block and keep your camera stationary. So here we are picking up the last heart. We are done with that. We will get our next question box. And of course, I'm doing the harder ones first. So we're going to go from hard to easy. And you'll see cuts in between each one because I have to save scum. So that's what the little swipe is there for, because I do actually exit out and go upload my save. So next, I'm just gonna go and open up the box because we're done with all of the levels. So
Boris.
we don't have to worry about running into any of the butcher gang. So I just opened that up, and then over here we can go and play hide and seek. This one again will be sped up for you. I don't know how I felt about the hide and seek. It was okay, I guess. It would have been nice to maybe give Boris some of the abilities, like give him the ability to flow or the ability to go through the cracks in the walls. Because if you notice, in a lot of the rooms, especially in the studio, there's a lot of cracks in the walls, and some of them have the look, and you can look through and see a message or something on the wall. It would have been nice to give Boris the ability to do like Porter and Flo, or do like Sammy and go through the cracks. And I kind of feel like maybe they intended on doing that at some point, but maybe never got around to it. The hide and seek was okay. I mean, it was different. It was a nice change of pace. It was okay. I'm glad the whole game isn't like that, though. It was nice as just a single mini game. So this is our fourth question box. Now we can go into the arcade there. I hadn't even opened the door. You can open it if you want to, but we don't have to do anything there. Over in the Gent Lab, I never even came back here and interacted with it for it to tell me that I can open the boxes. That's why they were just like you were just shaking them, because I never did that part. So we can come up here and do Sammy's portion. Now this one is really, really short, so I'm not going to speed it up because we already have the code, so we don't have to go and find it. We can just go straight to the instrument room and play the instruments in order. You don't actually have to go and look at that first. So let's see where the Ink Demon is. Oh, there he is. Let's get out of his way. Let him go over to the other side. So you should write it down. We have to do the bass first, which if you're looking at the seats of the chairs, the bass is in the upper right corner. The drum is in the upper left corner, and that's second. The violin is on the chair. Then we have to go to the piano, which is in the lower right corner of the room. Then back to the drum, which is in the upper left corner of the room. And then the banjo, which is right below the drum. And that will open up the secret door. And you can go in and in the level. And remember that Sammy cannot run. So once that's done, you will collect your question box. And now we can actually open it up. So let's do that. I'll probably run back to the question boxes that are over here and open those up too before we go and finish off the last little bit. I open it and I forget to grab the item. I don't know why. So that's 2 opened, 3 opened, and 4 opened. Now we can come right here and do fuse ball. But this time I'm not trying to get a high score trophy, so you only have to collect 10 points. So, you know, I'm just gonna let the ball drop as soon as I get 10. I love when that happens, when the little ball bounces off of the other nodes. Almost there. Oh. This game is strangely addictive, I think. It can be quite frustrating. See, I just let it go. We got 11 points. That's plenty enough to get our question box. Go ahead and open that up. So that's number 5. And then we've already taken care of the ink hearts, so that's number 6. And now all that's left is the safe house scraps. And all that is a cutscene. Just watch the cutscene and you're done. And of course, I'm going to skip the cutscene because I've already showed it to you guys. Once it's done, open up your box and grab the final component. And if your save's coming, now would be the time to save and upload your save to the cloud, because the next thing that we're doing is going into the final boss fight. So just make your way down there. I don't know why I'm walking. I'm pretty sure that there's a bacon soup dispenser down there. I know there's a little healing spot on the wall, but I'm pretty sure there's a bacon soup dispenser down there. I don't quite remember, even though we just saw it. So go ahead and interact with the machine. And here again, you'll just have to take out the enemies and wait for the ink to fill up in the machine. As you can see, even on hard, all of these enemies go down with one hit, even with the mallet. So I did not go through the trouble of getting the scythe this time. There was really no point. I already got the trophy for it, and it seems to do the exact same amount of damage as the mallet. It just is a longer weapon and tends to block a little better, but that's pretty much it. So I just stuck with the mallet. Just take all of these guys out one hit at a time. You should be fine. And really, even though the animatronic enemies at the end seems like they should be harder, they're really not, because they fall from the sky. So it takes them a second to kind of recover from falling from such a height. So it actually, the smaller ones are a little harder. So again, we get the cutscene, and this time I'll talk through it. I think this is a very satisfying ending for Boris. Playing through the Bendy games, especially in the ink machine, Boris was my favorite character. I connected with him on a different level, and maybe it was because he was a silent character and he was clearly being targeted by Alice Angel. It really made me like Boris the most. So seeing him have the opportunity to escape the madness that the ink machine created is a really satisfying ending for me. I really love this for Boris's character. And if he truly got out, if that truly lets him escape from the inky world and get back to the real world, I can't think of a better way to send off Boris. I would gladly not see him in the next game because I know he made it out. Again, you might forget, but you do have to walk up to it and interact with it. So once that's done, you'll get your message that Boris escaped the cycle, and we're going to earn 2 trophies. First one is Steal Boris, and that is for completing the game on hard. And then finally, we get our Ultimate Survivor Platinum Trophy. So this was in a lot of ways, it was a very simple game. It wasn't meant to be difficult. It was just meant to be a little bit of fun. Yes, it is kind of repetitious, but I mean, when you're only paying $2 for a game, which I think it costs more than that normally, but I got it on a sale. So, I mean, you can't really expect more bang for your buck, you know? I enjoyed it. I thought for this type of game, I don't know. For this game compared to other Bendy games, it's probably like a 4. But if you take into account the price and the fact that it was a mobile game before it went to consoles, you could probably give it a 6. I mean, not that it's a bad game, it's just it's lacking so much. And when you compare it to the franchise and what they've already made, it is lacking in a lot of ways, but still not bad, not for $2. Here it shows I have 1 death. I don't even know how it would track my death, which I did save scum, so maybe, but if I would have died, then obviously I wouldn't have made it to the end, so I don't even know how that works. Anyway, those are my stats. Now, here we find ourselves at the end of the game. I really appreciate anyone who watched and made it to the end. I really appreciate it. I really appreciate it when you take the time to listen to what I think about a game, because it sparks more conversations. And I would love for you all to comment down below and tell me what you think and if you think I'm right or wrong. So thank you all so much for watching. Please don't forget to hit like and subscribe to see what I'm working on next. And until then, Khajiit always has wares.